Before you were old enough to speak, you signed a contract. Not with ink, with expectation. They told you money was earned. They forgot to mention it was engineered. There is a system humming under every price tag, under every promise you've ever made. It doesn't need your permission. It only needs your belief. The rich learned how to turn that belief into collateral, how to lend against your certainty and borrow against their own mortality. That's the story they never published. Tonight, I'll tell it. Part 1. The proposal. They say love makes you do crazy things, but there's another kind of love, quieter, colder, the love the rich have for control. And the object of that love is insurance. Yeah, insurance, that boring folder your parents kept in a kitchen drawer. Except, to the wealthy, it's not a safety net, it's a money printer. They don't buy policies to protect themselves. They buy them to build empires. While most people pay premiums and pray they never need to use them, the rich whisper to their bankers, "Make the policy pay me instead." And it does. They call it infinite banking, turning a life insurance contract into a personal bank. You borrow against your policy, the insurer pays dividends, your capital keeps compounding, and somehow you're earning interest on the money you just borrowed. How is that even possible? How can debt make you richer? Because to the system, your promise is worth more than your cash. And the rich learned long ago, promises when insured are currency. Part 2. The courtship. Imagine a vault that grows every time you touch it. That's what the rich see when they open a policy called whole life insurance. They pour in premiums, millions sometimes. That money earns guaranteed interest, 4 to 6%. But here's the twist. They can borrow up to 90% of it, and the vault keeps compounding as if they never touched a dime. So they pull money out, invest it elsewhere. Real estate, startups, art, and their insurance balance still grows. 2 gains, 1 asset, a financial mirror trick. Now, here's the question that should sting a little. If the system allows that, why hasn't your bank told you? Because they are the system. They use your premiums to buy the same assets you dream of. Meanwhile, the wealthy skip the middleman. They become the bank. It's elegant, legal, boring on paper, and devastatingly effective. They even use these policies as collateral for more loans. Money borrowed from money that didn't leave. A circle so perfect, it feels like a glitch in capitalism. Part 3. The obsession. But obsession always starts with curiosity. What happens when you combine compounding interest with leverage? That's the moment the rich stop earning from time and start owning it. They layer policies, using one to fund another. It's called premium financing. Banks lend them money to pay huge premiums. The policy itself stands as collateral, and when it matures, the loan is repaid and the surplus becomes tax-free wealth. They've literally turned mortality into equity. Every breath accrues value. Question: isn't that immoral? Turning life into a spreadsheet? Answer: maybe. But the market doesn't trade in morality, it trades in math. And math, when wrapped in legality, becomes destiny. So while ordinary people argue over crypto charts, old money families are quietly compounding inside policies that nobody questions. Because insurance is sacred. It was built on the idea of protection, and nothing hides better than power disguised as virtue. They call it safe money. But safe for whom? 4. The marriage. Now let me tell you why this story feels like a love letter. Because, like every proposal, it starts with risk. The risk of believing in something invisible. The wealthy fell in love with a paradox. An instrument meant to soften loss became a machine to multiply gain. They wooed it with patience, funded it with trust, and built legacies that outlived them. And here you are, sitting in the quiet after midnight, listening to a stranger tell you that insurance, the most boring word in finance, is the closest thing humanity has to immortality. But love stories need a choice. So here's yours. Do you keep paying premiums hoping for safety? Or do you learn the rules they use to rewrite the game? Because every vault has a key. And sometimes the key isn't metal, it's understanding. When you finally see how promises compound faster than money, you'll realize wealth isn't about having more. It's about owning the mechanism that makes more. So, from the vault of Red Briefcase, consider this my proposal. Not of romance, but of awakening. While the world sleeps, let's marry reason to wonder and learn to love the mathematics of the unseen.